Okay, fight fans, fight fiends, welcome back to Manny's Thoughts. I, of course, Manny MTL or Manny Montreal. Make sure you check me out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and obviously thefightcity.com. As usual, I'll give you guys my thoughts on what's going down in combat sports. My oh my, is the month of March a madness in Montreal. Let me explain. First off, we've got 3 to 4 major events going down this month in the island, so expect every gym to be busy with getting their fighters ready. Expect the Fight City to be busy with getting stories, videos, and pics ready. We've got stuff coming out on the daily. It's just going to be an insane month of March. So, first off, I got to hang out at the Grant Brothers this week, and I got to watch Desmond Predator Green spar and train. Now, he's the Titan FC champ, and there's no doubt that this kid wears gold, because just fantastic stuff. It's just fun to watch him in there. There's no doubt that he went up to the championship levels and dominated. Honestly, the only thing missing was maybe the Grant Brothers playing a little James Brown good foot while he was in there. Honestly, he just needs a soundtrack. Everything else is just golden. March 20th, he makes his title defense, shall I say win. Make sure you tune in, support the guy. He trains from here, so there's no beating him. That being said, also training there, which I got to sneak a little peek at, was Patrick Cote getting ready for April when the UFC returns. He's going to be fighting Joe Riggs. This is my personal message to Joe Riggs. I don't know Patrick Cote. I've maybe had 3 conversations grand total with him about the weather. I will say this. It's been 10 to 15 years in and around gyms I've seen him. And right now, at this very moment, he seems to be in the best shape of his life. Joe Riggs is going to get a nasty surprise. Patrick Cote just decided to throw in an overdrive. Looks fantastic right now. Joe Riggs, watch out. It's retirement time. That being said, in Montreal, Rival MMA is making its debut. Big show, big MMA show, people. It's a few years MMA wasn't allowed in Montreal. It's back, honestly, and these guys came out blazing. First off, Verdun Auditorium, Friday the 13th. Tickets are from $40 to $100. It's a 4,000 person capacity crowd. Do you understand? Up to 4,000 people can fill that bad boy. These guys are not playing around. They stacked the card. There's 12 to 15 fights on that bad boy. Now, I am talking this week about a specific person, Xavier Aloui. Make sure you tune in to my Facebook, Twitter, and thefightcity.com for more about him. But basically, he's going to be having his second pro fight. And the reason I'm supporting him is because I got to see him train at the Grant Brothers gym with none other than Desmond's boxing coach as well, Edwin Aguilar from the Grant Brothers. Just phenomenal stuff from this kid. I honestly wasn't entirely sure he was in MMA. I'm like, really? He does MMA? Oh, okay, so it's not just boxing. Okay. The kid boxes very well, 135 pounder. Now, the biggest reason I realized that anybody on this card was worth talking about was for this reason. Let me explain to you why Xavier is so special and why this is an interesting topic. We've got hundreds of MMA fighters here in Montreal. Hundreds of guys that would have killed to have Xavier's spot. Now, out of those hundreds, there's a couple dozen that have better records and probably needed the money more. But the powers that be at Rival MMA handpicked this entire card. So every guy there is there for the maximum enjoyment of the fans. Because basically, if these guys are investing that big into the Verdun Auditorium, doing a big show of that nature, trust me, they're going to try and stack the card towards the favor of the fans. They're looking for guys that are going to be putting on a real show. And if you've never seen Xavier's first fight, well, make sure you go and support him for his second one, because it's one of those things you're going to be talking about to your friends for a really long time. This kid's just different kind of thing out there. Honestly, make sure you go check him out. I'm going to be there to support him. Just a fantastic fighter. More to come on the Fight City from him. Make sure you tune in. That being said, also on the card, just a little reference I want to make. Aiemann Zahabi, the uncrowned prince of MMA, the conqueror, the beast. Why do I say all these things, despite the fact the guy's only had 3 fights? Because somewhere in a hidden room in TriStar, there's a bunch of mats and books, and this is like his secret room. And occasionally, the finest of sparring partners gets assembled to be presented to him. Do you understand? Uncrowned prince. He's got everything in front of him. Best trainers, best coaches, best gym, best partners. Just everything around him for him to succeed. And on top of that, he's talented. He's very talented. He fought his last fight, which I got to see, and I was stunned because the guy he fought had a half-decent record, so I was expecting this to go a little further. Not when you're in TriStar every day. Not when you're born and bred into it. Now, I'll just say this. Remember the name, Aiemann Zahabi. Remember, I'm the one that told you. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. You cannot contain what this kid has. Sooner or later, the world will know the name. That being said, let me get started with this week's news. My only Mayweather-Pacquiao point I would like to bring up. Something strange occurred to me. I was thinking about this. It's not just about who's fought Mayweather or who's going to fight Mayweather or who's going to watch Mayweather, but it's also about who gets a crack at trying to crack the Mayweather puzzle. Mayweather's undefeated, and a lot of coaches and trainers have attempted to come up with some sort of strategy or plan for their fighter. So let me point out. Mayweather's team has defeated Robert Garcia, the Reynoso brothers, Ignacio Beristain, that's Juan Manuel Marquez's guy, Buddy McGirt, Pernell Whitaker, Billy Graham, Pedro Diaz, Robert Guerrero's dad, Shane Mosley's dad, Danny Garcia's dad, Zeb Judah's dad. Every major trainer out there has taken a crack at Mayweather and failed. Now, Freddie gets to have a second shot at redemption here, because back in 2007, Freddie cornered Oscar fighting Mayweather, and well, we all know how that went. And it was pretty much the end of Oscar and the beginning of Floyd. So it's kind of poetic that Freddie gets another crack with the fighter of his choosing, which he thinks he can implement his plan against. So honestly, look out for Freddie's game plan on this. I'm looking forward to this fight. I just don't want to talk about it too much. I will say this, if you guys get a chance, go on to FightCity.com. Lee Wiley's got some excellent videos on this. He's going to be doing a series of breakdown videos coming up to the fight. Make sure you tune in and go look at those. That being said, another Mayweather, well, kind of from the Mayweather fight, the whole Canelo-Kirkland undercard. Basically, there's talk that David Lemieux is going to be on that undercard, and that's on HBO the week after Mayweather. However, I'm a little scared because HBO has a tendency to replay the big fight the week before, so maybe we won't get to see Lemieux on TV. But that being said, I want to bring up that Groupe Yvon Michel is suing David Lemieux and Golden Boy for something like $1.3 million breach of contract stuff. And honestly, it's not going very good for Jim right now and Yvon Michel, because Beterbiev just left and signed a 3-year deal with Al Heyman. And that's some really, really tricky stuff. But honestly, I think it might be the best move for Beterbiev. Be careful, people. Sinking ships, sinking ships. You know what happens with sinking ships. That being said, speaking of Heyman, 2 of Heyman's boys, Pascal and Adonis. Pascal's fighting Kovalev. Honestly, I'm hopefully Maz is going out there and getting your picks for winner of Pascal Kovalev and how you think the fight will progress. Make sure you tune into Fight City for those videos. Hopefully I can get a bunch of guys talking about who they think's going to win. That being said, I want to just bring up something. Pascal and Adonis have to stop with the selfies. They are the selfie kings. It is annoying as hell. It is annoying. Do you understand? I don't want to see you in your car. You have a $100,000 car? How about this? Spend the money on somebody to hold the goddamn camera. How about you spend some money on somebody to figure out what the hell you're going to say before you say it? Jesus, both of you just suck at this. Both of you should not be doing any more selfies, cell phone, Twitter, Instagram bull unless you're paying someone to prepare it for you. For God's sakes, you don't see Mayweather holding his cell phone. Act like a champion. Whew. Okay, one more thing. I don't think a man of color driving a expensive car in Montreal should be holding his cell phone. You're just asking for trouble. I do not want to see you on LCN. Speaking of Adonis signed a fight against Sakio Bika. So there's a lot of talk of, Sakio Bika is a shitty fight because Sakio's a lower weight class and how dare they. I don't even want to talk about that. You know what bothers me about Sakio Bika? Sakio Bika hits the lottery more times than anybody I've ever seen in my life. And why do I say this? Let me explain. First off, he's on his 9th title shot. Real title, with the word world ahead of it. 9 title shots, and he's got a record of 32-6-3 with 21 KOs. Now, it's not bad as a career. And 6 losses on 32 wins is very admirable. It is a very tough game out there. However, how many chances at a title do you get? And I'll explain. First off, Marcus Beyer got to fight for the WBC. Also fought Anthony Durrell for the WBC bantamweight title. Not bantamweight, sorry, super middleweight title. He fought Durrell twice for that title and lost both times. Then after losing those 2 title shots, what does he do? Get another title shot at another weight division against Adonis. Huh? That's 3 title shots in a row for this dude. Now, okay, so what else? Well, he fought Calzaghe for the IBF and the WBO. He fought Andre Ward in 2010 for the WBA. Fought Peter Manfredo for the IBO. Marco Periban for the WBC again. How many times is the WBC going to give this guy a crack at putting the gold around his waist? It's just strange to me. It's a light heavyweight bout now, and I don't get it. How many times can Sakio Bika hit the lottery, people? Jeez. Anyways, that's it for this week's show. Make sure you tune into my other shows. Fight Week Roundup, Fight Week Rundown. Make sure you like me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit me up on thefightcity.com. I'll see you guys next week.